What's going on, Team Tactile? Today I want to take a look at two keyboards that you should be considering if you are a beginner to the mechanical keyboard hobby. On the one side we have the Keychron Q1 Pro, pretty new to the scene, definitely a nice keyboard, even comes pre-built. On the other side we have the Monsgeek M1, which is a keyboard that if you've seen some of my videos you know I'm a big fan of. But which one of these keyboards is right for you? Let's get into the video. Alright everyone, so let's take a look at the M1 and the Q1 Pro together. Starting off, I want to talk about the construction of these two boards. They are pretty similar, so both these boards are going to be CNC aluminum. They're both really well constructed, plenty of weight to them, maybe a little more evenly distributed in the M1, but other than that they both feel really good in the hands. As far as like the height of them goes, hard to see from this angle, but if I put them up next to each other, basically same height, same angle, and all of that, so you're not going to really get a difference in typing experience. Still probably want something for your wrist unless you're trying to invite carpal tunnel into your life. And then really what it comes down to, I'd say, is kind of the machining itself. Monsgeek tends to be a little more rounded, right, all the edges and stuff. Keychron tends to be a little more square. That's potentially a personal preference thing for you, but doesn't really change the functionality of the board. Again, they're pretty similar, both made out of machined aluminum. So as far as which one's the better choice if you're concerned about construction, I actually think it's a tie. So after talking about just like the overall case construction, I think it's important that we take a look at the inner workings of both of these keyboards. So we have the M1 up top and the Q1 Pro on bottom. So nothing too crazy here for the bottom of them. You can see I did put some little tabs in there for force braking on the M1. I do really like the case foam that comes with the M1. It also has, if we can zoom in here maybe, this dampening kind of pad that comes with it, so you can see it a little more over there. So it's pretty nice. I think it does give the board a nice sound. And then if we're looking at the Q1, this was some case foam that comes with it. This is actually some extra foam that I've put in, but pretty flimsy piece of foam, and then just your battery cover back here because it does have wireless. What I will say though is around the points on it, you can see everything that they've put in place to kind of help with the pinginess of it. So even though the board does sound hollow when I'm smacking on it, it doesn't actually sound super hollow when you're typing on it. So that's the bottom of both of these boards. Now let's take a look at what we get with the top. So starting with the Keychron Q1 Pro, I'm just going to disconnect some of these so we can separate everything. So you do have a lot more wires on the Q1 Pro because it is wireless, so you do have to attach your antenna and things like that. And hopefully once you take your knob off, this will pop right out. I am just going to leave the switches on for simplicity's sake as we're talking about this. So no surprise there for the case. And here you have your PCB, and we can see you got some foam sandwiched in between there, your PCB, and foam gaskets on this, which is going to be something different than the M1. So all these are nice foam gaskets, give it a lot of good movement. So now, if we take a look at the M1, and just taking off that top piece, it does come off with the knob still on, which, depending on who you are, is nice. I wrestled with the knob for a while, but you have, again, some foam sandwiched between, but you have these silicone gaskets, which are pretty nice. I do think you actually see quite a bit of kind of flex on it, which is nice, it feels good. The plate though, however, on the Q1, or excuse me, the plate on the M1, I found to be a little finicky, right? So once you get this thing in, I mentioned this in my video on it originally, like working it around the stabilizers is actually a pain. You really have to snap this thing down for it to lay flat. And as somebody new, I thought I was doing something wrong. But overall, once you know that, not a big deal. So you got your PCB and everything there. So again, these two are fairly similar still. Your big change is going to be the gaskets that you're looking at here, I'd say, more than anything. we know both these boards are fairly similar in their construction, but as far as when you're picking out which one's for you, it's important to look at what comes with the board as well. This is the cable that comes with the Keychron. It's a USB-C to USB-C, comes with a USB-A adapter. The Keychron also comes with a switch puller, not this one, but a switch puller. It also comes with a keycap puller. It basically includes everything you could possibly want. Now, the Monski comes with what I would say is kind of a cheaper feeling cable. It is coiled if that matters to you, but the Keychron one is braided, so a little higher quality, at least in feel. And then what separates the Monsgeek is that it comes with things like tape for the tape mod, those little pads for a force brake. So this is where we start to alter who we're marketing towards, I'd say, with these, where the M1 is definitely starting to be more of what you want to mod is in the box, and then the Keychron is like, here's everything you could ever want, you know, as far as just doing the basics on your keyboard. For extras, I do give it to the Keychron though, over the Monsgeek, because ultimately tape is all you need to satisfy the same thing for what's included in the box, right? If you have Blue Painter's tape at home, you can do a tape mod, you don't need their tape. Just like you can do a force brake mod with it if you want to do that. And I don't even think it needs it. So overall, I think extras and peripherals, you get a better deal from the Keychron than you do on the Monsgeek. Right, so we've opened up both these keyboards. We've talked about what makes the internals of them different. Let's talk a little bit about the price and what else separates these keyboards, and ultimately which one you should go with. So the Monsgeek M1 comes in at $99. It really is a fantastic deal. It's hard to beat, and I think that's why I am so in love with it, because everything jumps up to basically where the Keychron is after that point. The Keychron is $179 as a bare bones package, or $199 as a pre-built. So if you want a pre-built, this is your option right here. I don't think you can go wrong with buying the pre-built. You have a good choice of switches. You do have to deal with their KSA keycaps, because if you're going to go buy new keycaps, like I put new keycaps on this one, you're $200 plus who knows $70 in. So now you've made a much more expensive keyboard, and you really didn't have to. For the M1, I think this is the beginner modder's keyboard. And what I mean by that is, it is clearly there for, they'll give you a USB cable with it, they give you the tape mod with it, but they're really expecting you to probably go do the stuff on your own. You don't need the tape. Again, you can use Blue Painter's tape. Everybody likes their fancy USB aviator cables and things like that, so this is a great deal, but it's probably made for somebody who wants to tinker with things. And even like I said, the PCB with the plate on it can be a little difficult to smush together, so you have to be comfortable putting a little force in it. Like, this is definitely a DIY kit. If you are in the market for something pre-built, wireless, right, has like kind of the Mac versus Windows setting on it, just out of the box, you know, the Keychron's a great option. There's obviously no wireless in the M1, so if that's a requirement for you, that stands out. I've had older Keychron boards where I hated their Bluetooth, but this one actually does seem to be really good. And like I said, I think all the peripherals you get in the box are actually a little higher quality. So I don't think you can make a bad choice with this board. I do think it's a better deal as a pre-built than it is as the bare bones, because I think there's just a lot of boards coming to market at that $179 point that, unless you really want wireless, because I think that's something that's always going to stand out, you might be able to find something that is a little better. But overall, both these boards are great. I would highly recommend either one of them. And like I said, it's just up to you. Like, are you looking to get into modding? Do you want to build your own thing? Or are you looking to just kind of pull out of the box and get going? Because then Keychron's going to be probably better for you. Let me know what you think in the comments. Appreciate everybody watching another video. Like, comment, subscribe if you like what I'm doing. And I will see you all in the next one.